Good day, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the podcast. Great to have you along. So now last week, I talked about how even though COVID is ending for most places here in the United States, there's a new disruption coming. I talked about it a little bit, and I'd love to expand upon it this week. And this immediate disruption is around your employees. Hybrid work. How is it all going to end up fleshing out? Now, I've been talking with leaders over the last couple of months about what their plans are regarding return to work. And most recently, I've been hearing a lot about different companies, generally large, with big real estate footprints that they have to pay for, basically saying the expectation is that you are going to be at work a minimum of 3 days per week. That's it. Basically, hey, things are happening, COVID's releasing, we want you back 3 days a week. No real explanation why, no connection to purpose, it's just saying this is what we're going to do. And I think this type of tone and culture and lack of connection is one of the reasons why Microsoft found in a study that 54% of Gen Z employees are looking to go and change jobs in the next 6 months. 41% of all workers are looking to do the same thing. And there are multiple other surveys that show that, both in the US as well as the UK and Ireland, that I saw in a World Economic Forum post. All of us, now that we've been in our homes for 15 months and will be for a little bit longer, have had a chance to really take a look at who we are, what we want, what our purpose is. Some are completely changing their jobs and industries that they want to get out of what they're doing because they see maybe a different purpose. Maybe those you can't go and get. But COVID and this hybrid or remote working environment has laid bare a lot of inequities, a lot of lack of alignment to mission and vision, and employees want more. Now, of course, they may not find greener grass on the other side of the fence, but they're thinking differently. And as I hear these leaders talk about how their organizations are putting out these types of communications about return to work, it saddens me. Here's why. When you have such a change as COVID and remote work, and you've seen, as we've talked about in previous episodes, that a lot of good things have happened. Workers have been able to go and adjust how they handle their workflows to be able to go and connect with mission and vision, and have seen the benefits of being able to go and do some work and life at the same time, or even have a 30 or 60 or 120 minute commute each way, taking so much time out of their life. They're thinking about the power that they have. And that if the organization they're working for doesn't meet them at their ground, they'll find a place that will. Obviously, this is a change, a huge change from the dynamics of work, especially since 2008, since the Great Recession, where companies had so much power in terms of who they wanted to keep and why they wanted to keep them. And employees had to scrape to be able to go and find a job, just to be able to go and put food on the table. Things are changing. But there's something that you can do. This isn't just a scare tactic. I want to provide you some tidbits on some things that I believe you can do to be able to go and use this return to work, this hybrid model, as a way of connecting on a different level with your employees. Now, I talked with an executive of a pretty significant retailer who talked about how COVID really changed the type of pace and capacity of the workforce, because they had to think of just new things to be able to go and serve customer needs, especially around the digital ordering experience as well as pickup and inventory. They have reached a different level as a result of COVID, and now that COVID is ending, the conversation is turning to how they can actually go and be more proactive and take the next step. You and your organization likely have done similar things. In COVID, your organization has gone about doing more things to fulfill mission and vision than it was beforehand. First thing is to celebrate that and call it out and tell stories, even if they're 1 or 2 lines, listing things out or referencing them to different pages on your internal website about the great stories of mission and vision driven work that were done remotely in a COVID environment. Then you can say there were things that we missed. The collaborative aspect, being able to work across teams, something that will work for your area. And you realize through that you can merge and meld the hybrid stuff that built mission and vision driven work in different ways, along with working together and collaboratively to be able to add on to that in the new way that you've started thinking because of the last 15 months. If you connect return to work to your purpose and how return to work can specifically benefit the employees as well as the organization and the teams that comprise it, you're going to get a lot more nodding heads, because you're sensitive to the situation that's going on. You're sensitive to the great things that happened in remote work. You're sensitive that your managers are more managers than they are leaders, and they feel they need to go and have their people in sight so they can look over their shoulder. But that's a leadership issue, to work with your managers to become better leaders. That can be done in person too, as well as remote. If you as a leader and you as an organization can show that you've learned from this experience, you've connected more with mission and vision, and you want to go and even drive that more, those Gen Z workers, the 54% that are looking to leave, will say, they did learn. They do have a purpose. I understand why returning to work is the right thing to do. And this is an organization I want to grow with. Or the 41% of all workers in the Microsoft survey to say the same thing. And as we've started to see across this United States, the gatherings that have come forth and the smiles on people's faces for being able to be connected with other people, socializing, feeling their energy, they're going to have that as long as there's flexibility and as long as you connect it directly to mission and vision. Think about that. How would you get it done? What are some of the things that you could do to set up that communication? Because that communication is going to be a jolt. Artificial as it may be, it's going to be a jolt to say, okay, it's time for me to get out of this remote mindset all the time and prepare myself for what life might be like going back to work at least a portion of the time. And how you handle that communication, whether you're going to be almighty, all-seeing, and telling people this is thou shalt do, or if you go and put in a with them, a what's in it for them, of why it's going to benefit them as employees as well as the organization, I think you'll see which one is going to work out better. Just a quick one today. Thanks a lot for listening in. Really appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your week. We'll catch you next week. Cheers.